All right. I'm showing right now what's called rental property analysis. As I previously mentioned, there's red and there's green. Red means it costs you money. Green means it's going to make you money as far as the displays. The yellow areas are the areas that you can enter data. You're not to enter data in any area that isn't yellow. You will step on all the formulas and mess the whole thing up. All right. Let's kind of start at the top. We always start with the offer price, purchase price, whatever that we buy at. Now, there's two kinds of repairs that you can have. All right. And I'm not a CPA or anything like that. But if you can, obviously, especially if you have significant expenses up front, you'd like to include it in the mortgage. That's difficult to do unless you could find a way to, the banks won't lend you that money. If you're going for a traditional mortgage, you pretty well are going to have repairs that are not included in the mortgage. I don't have those here. This particular student has the cash to play this game and has a line of credit to pay for the repairs and then put it into the mortgage. Okay, here's the deal. Repairs that are not in the mortgage do not show up on this form because they're really included in your percentage of maintenance of what it costs you to maintain the property, or in the purchase price, one or the other. So this is one area where you'll put data, but it won't go anywhere. Everywhere else it should go somewhere. Your percent down, if you're going to do a mortgage, 20% down of the $128,000 here, that turns out to be $102,400. You're going to put 20% down. Your cash investment is $25,600. Your interest rate in this particular case happens to be, if you look, it says 4%, but it's actually, if you look up here in the formula bar, it's actually 4.25. So, which you really, there's a world of difference between a 4% loan and a 4.25, as you'll see in your payments. Okay, I'm joking with you, but it's kind of true. In this particular case, it's a 30-year mortgage with a 10-year arm, which is about the best you'll do in Canada. This is a Canadian deal. In the U.S., we might be able to get away with a little bit more. Taxes are going to be $2,625.37 over the year. This is annualized. Insurance is $960. Notice the management fees that are in red, the maintenance, the repairs, all that sort of stuff here in red, where it's white against a red background. As the same up here, those numbers come from somewhere. You're not entering them. Over here, I'll show you how these numbers get here. The management fee is right here. Management as a percent of rents is 5%. No, maintenance as a percent of rents is $780 because that's 5% of the rent monies that you bring in, okay? Management is $1,404 because that's 10% of the rents that come in. Now, just get up on my horse a little bit. I would rather pay you as a property manager 15% of the monthly rents than I would pay you 8 or 10% and have you charge me some sort of a fee for churning tenants, which is what you do if you get money for what they call them, boarding a tenant or the first month's rent or whatever it is. I don't want to make it worth more money for you to kick out my tenants so you can get new ones. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for you if you're in the rental property business. It doesn't work for your for your buyer if you're wholesaling rental properties, which is a great business to be in, and we'll talk more about that as we go along. But the management fees, there's a range, if you see here. For vacancy, maintenance, and management ranges between 5 and 10. Your large apartment complexes, when times are at all decent, they'll run 3% vacancy. For us, it's harder to do that with single-family homes and duplexes and triplexes and stuff like that. They have a whole crew of people working on nothing but their stuff. Okay, maintenance 5%. I've been able to do 5% over the years myself. That should certainly be your bogey. And vacancy 10% down here. I said management, but vacancy's 10%. Vacancy, I've run less than 10%, but I have a good property manager, and I look at it this way. I'll pay you more as a property manager if you can keep me from going vacant. And I've had a good, and I actually pay 15%. But I'm in a resort area, even though I'm not doing resort rentals anymore. I'm doing annual rentals, but I still pay her the money, but I don't pay her anything to get me a tenant. And I tell her very candidly, I don't need you to be vacant. I can be vacant all by myself. So if you want to stay working with me, keep tenants in there. And she's done a very good job of that for over 10 years. Okay, so your gross rents is a green number. Annual rents, notice this, your annual rents versus your vacancy rent loss, okay, is $15.69. What I changed here from the old version of this rental property analysis to make it much more accurate is I figure out what are my utilities going to be, and it doesn't matter. I just put numbers in here to play with, but whatever they are. See where it says landlord, tenant. Okay, I am going to pay for, if I'm vacant, I'm going to pay this much money, and it'll be a percentage of that I'm, and actually I'll show you the formula up here. C18, which is your 10% times G31. G31 is right here. Your what my fees are. Okay, so I'm going to. It's only though while I'm vacant. Notice that this 10% figure is in here. All right, vacancy of rents. I'm vacant 10% of the time, so I'm only going to pay 10% of the annualized rents because I'm only vacant, or utilities, annualized utilities, because I'm only vacant that period of time. All right, so, and I'll explain this more in detail. Again, you'll only enter in the yellow areas, but it will also allow the tenants to know what they're, if you're figuring what your tenant rents are going to be, you may end up having to pay some. You're certainly going to have to pay those during the period of time that you're vacant. Okay. Or in some cases, like here, an HOA condo fee. I have HOA condo fees. It's not actually a condo fee because it's a homeowners association. I pay a fee of $115 a month. And what they do in one of my units is they water the lawn. And they give me all the water I can drink inside or take showers with. They also mow the lawn and they give me the water. That's what they do. Now, here's my problem. When I'm competing with other places where someone can rent, they look at the rent number. They rent the other place because it's less than mine, and then they have to pay for their own water, and they have to mow their own lawn. So that's always an issue. That's what I don't like about HOA fees. And so now I do have a couple of HOAs, but whoopie-doo-dah that I've gotten into here over time. All right, so I want to talk with you also up here. You'll see where we're talking about our loan amount, and the interest rate is 4.25, 30-year. What it does, it goes into this mortgage calculator, which is an untouchable. You try to enter information here, it tells you you can't, okay? Because I don't want you frog around with this and it's dead meat, so save a copy in case somehow you mess it up. But this will figure out all your mortgages and bring your numbers back here at the bottom so that you'll have your annualized mortgage right here, if you follow what I'm saying. Total mortgages, because you might have a second. And total expenses plus mortgages is here. But over here, let's go here, and you'll see I made this net operating income bigger, And I didn't do the same thing for annualized cash flow. This is your profit over the year. That's what you put in your pocket right now. I did that because this is a more powerful number as it relates to everything, including your annual cash flow, because this is what you bring in. This is what, all your expenses over here and your mortgage and stuff down here it's all out of here, if you know what I'm saying. So let's look at what this all means. Okay, this is your annual debt service. That is the same number that you see down here, total of mortgages. All right, bring it back up over here. Now, these are the numbers that if you're trying to sell a property, to wholesale a property to a landlord, which you can find in our database, in our software, in the Real Estate Pro and the Real Estate Elite software, you're going to find tons of cash buyers, people who pay cash, and then you can find those that own multiple properties. You can sort out those that are absentee owners, both in-state or out-of-state people. That software is a license to print money. End of story. But let's talk about how you move a property to one of those people, or convince your banker that this is a good deal and he ought to get behind you on it. Okay, your cap rate means just that, capitalization rate, or your the capitalization rate. It bases on two numbers. Okay, this number up here, how much money do you have invested in the property, and this number here, your net operating income. Okay, so what you're doing is taking C15, which is your gross rents. What am I doing here? Okay, not net up. I'm talking about cap rate, Ted. Sober up. Okay, C21, which is your net operating income, divided by how much money you have into the property. C6, this is your total investment into the property. That gives you what is if you paid cash for the property, you bought it with money out of your wallet or your bank account, you paid $128,000, you brought in a net operating income of $8,161.73, your return would be 6.38%. If you've got a lot of money, many cases, rental properties are going to way outperform putting your cash in there than putting your cash in a lot of other investments, such as Enron or whatever, if you know what I mean. Okay, I'm joking with you about that. But nonetheless, that's a cap rate. Now, cash on cash, this is a very, very important number to a lot of people. What this really is, it's C21, which is your net operating income, minus F36, which is down here. Your F36 is your total of your mortgages, because this deals with what are you paying in mortgages. All your expenses is already deducted from your gross rents to give you your net operating income. So what you're doing here in your cash on cash return is you're taking all of that stuff and then dividing it by what you paid for the property. Okay, 123,000. Okay. So that's how you get your cash on cash return. All right, your debt service coverage ratio. This is a very important number to the banks, and they want to see at least a 1.25. In other words, that you have $1.20. That means is that you have $1.25 for every dollar that you owe them to pay the mortgage. Now, many banks want to see $1.50. Why is that? Well, they figure that if you have $1.50 to pay them $1, why would you not pay them? Why would you kill that golden goose, if you follow what I'm saying? So there you go. This will tell you how to make how to make it in the rental arena, in the cash flow properties. It's a great spreadsheet to give you the numbers. Now, what I'm going to do is stop the